Hello, welcome to a visit with Nana and Papa. I'm Nana.
I'm Papa.
We're coming to you from Austin, Texas. It is September 30th. Tomorrow is October 1st, which means 18 days from now I will be on a plane headed north. Yay! To maybe, just maybe, cooler weather. One could be hopeful that it's not 90 on Rhinebeck weekend.
Let's hope that it's not the opposite extreme either, because,
Yeah, well, there's that too.
that'll put a real damper on an outdoor event if it's blowing rain and snow.
Tis true.
So,
But-
no hurricanes, keep your fingers crossed.
No hurricanes, no flooding, and not 90 degrees. That's the goal. All right. So,
So what is the actual desired, what's your target, darling?
my target,
What target would make you happy?
I would love for the temperature to be 40 to 60. Personally.
You're going to have a lot of people
But-
at Rhinebeck wanting to clobber you.
But by 40 to 60, I don't mean 40 for the high. I mean 40, like 5 o'clock in the morning, lowest max. And average temperature of the day would prefer to have it around 60. Because if it's around 60, everybody can wear their sweaters and nobody gets too hot.
You're less likely to get beat up when you get to Rhinebeck now.
I don't mean that I want the high to be 40.
Please, y'all, protect my wife in case she says anything else like that, because knitters have needles, and she will be stabbed repeatedly. Oh, I hope it's like 40. No.
No, I do not. I'm not wishing snow on anybody. I'm not wishing. I just would like to be able to wear one of my warm sweaters at least one of the days.
So, translation. Valerie would like sweater weather for Rhinebeck. Everybody going to Rhinebeck probably would like sweater weather. There, that's all you need to say, babies.
But we're all preparing for hot. But yes. And then
Yeah, I saw a thing on Facebook. We don't have fall in Texas. We have autumn. Currently, we have autumn.
At the end of the video, we're going to get into some life stuff, though. We'll do actually real life stuff. I have an update for folks on some services I'm going to be offering, and he has some news. But
News.
getting into knitting, I think I had started this last week, right?
Yeah.
So I haven't, it's not like it's done or anything, but I have gotten a little ways on it. It's a lot on one needle. So I am going to come back up here, pick up stitches, and decrease significantly because somehow I have a really wide neck and I do not want that wide of a neck. So I will be picking up stitches and decreasing a lot.
Yeah, because that'd almost be a over-the-shoulder neck.
Yeah, it's crazy big. Anyway, but, I was supposed to do another increase, but I skipped it because it's already big enough. It's just not deep enough. So, keeping on this sweater. This is the Laurel Sweater. A Laurel Jumper is what it's called. On Ravelry, it's by Along Avec Anna. She has her own yarn brand and a yarn shop in the UK. Pretty sure it's in England. And she is originally from France. And the yarns I am using, the first one is Holst Super Soft in the color Sweet Pea. And the brown, dark brown, is a Schoppel wool Zauberball Crazy that I got from the Woolpatch, Stuart, from his shop. If you're in the UK or in that region, please check out the Woolpatch and show them some love.
What she means is spend some money.
Well, no, I mean, you could share it with other people, tell people about it. But yes, if you can, support the small businesses there and in your local community. We get so used to the ease of going to, Walmart and Amazon, and we forget that when we're shopping there, we're not shopping with small business people, and we're supporting those big corporate dudes that are making the big money, and the little people aren't.
There's a big suit. The United States has sued Amazon because Amazon is forcing small businesses that do business with it to have set prices. They can't sell any cheaper than they do on Amazon, which means that they can't make any sales. And the small businesses are suffering, and Amazon is the only one making money. So the United States government has filed an antitrust suit against
That's
Amazon.
Interesting.
So,
but anyway, so if you have the opportunity to shop small business, please do so. And if you do shop small business, remember that they are not Amazon. They do not have the ability to have it to you same day, next day, without excruciatingly painful shipping costs. And if you want to give them an extra $100 to have it to you next day, by all means go for it if they offer it. But don't be upset that they're charging you for shipping, and really don't be upset that they're charging you lots of money because
like you spent more on shipping than you did on yarn. That kind of thing.
Yeah, well, so example, if you are Amazon or Walmart or a company that ships lots and lots every day with a carrier, you're getting really deep discounts to ship with that carrier because you're giving them volume. And so because of that volume, you're getting a discount. So then people don't understand, why can Amazon ship free and you can't? Well, because I'm not shipping thousands and thousands of dollars worth of packages every day.
And depending on where you live, Amazon's not really shipping you shit for free. They have a distribution center, which is acres of warehouses, and they have contract laborers driving minivans that they fill from the floor to the ceiling and send them on their way, and that is how they fulfill your order the next day. Is it's not actually being shipped, it's something that was already in
your community,
and they're just moving it from that locker
to your
locker.
Yeah. So anyway, just to
give the small business time to ship your stuff, or be expecting a huge bill for shipping.
So I showed this last time. It's just barely started. It's his sweater. You can't tell. Y'all are going to have to go, she did what? I did 7 more rows. You can't tell it. But you can see cables now.
You can. They're beautiful cables.
You can actually see cables now.
Hold it up close so they can see my cables. They're good cables.
So you can actually see cables now.
Are they not beautiful?
And now that I know what I messed up and I know what I can fix, I'm trying to work on this. But this is focus knitting. I can't be sleepy. That's not a good time. I cannot be trying to work and do this. That's not a good time.
Can't be watching videos.
Can't be watching podcasts. Nope, just gotta be dead quiet.
Which, speaking of podcasts, today was Leslie's month-end podcast. So if you haven't gone and looked at Leslie's month-end, that's a good thing to do.
Leslie's is not quite enough yarn. And, yeah.
Friday was her regular Friday video. Today was her month-end video. So you got back-to-back Leslie's if you don't.
It's my happiest time because I get her on Friday and then on Saturday. It's the best week ever. Anyway. So that's where I'm at on that. I still have the finish all the way down on the front, and then I have to go do the back pieces and then the front piece, and then we'll recircle. I will not be showing that sweater again probably until we actually have the back pieces and the front pieces. Then I'll show it again, so that may be some time from now. This week, I mostly worked on this. This is what I mostly worked on. I worked a little bit on the cabled hat, which I'm not going to show because it's not done. But I did work on it a little bit. And the hat is by Beatrice Rubio. But this morning, I don't know what happened to me, but y'all know I put a whole bunch of stuff because we had the duckery going on. We'll just leave it at that. And I was saying bad words, and I chucked 4 sweaters in different bags saying F you to them. So this is one of them. This is my Ranunculus. And I'm going to be entirely honest. I don't think I'm going to make another one ever. I love the love note. And I enjoy knitting the love note so much. Like every single love note that I've made, I've enjoyed every bit of it.
Yeah.
Every Ranunculus I've made has been a struggle. And every Ranunculus that I've made, I've had to rip back something. So I just don't think I'm going to make it again. It fits nice, but I don't care.
I don't blame you.
And so, but I did pull it back out, and I have knit enough and added short rows and split for sleeves, and now we are knit in the round. So
is that mindless knitting?
this is now mindless knitting. So now he's going to be very happy because now I have knitting that will allow us to watch shows and not be grumpy
Look
about
at that
it.
smiling. I love you.
So in that respect, before I show the last one that I fixed or am fixing, do you want to talk about what we've been watching?
Shows. No movies because no car. No car. Kind of hard to go to the movies. What we have been watching has been less than fulfilling, I will say that. We got caught up on the Wheel of Time on Amazon, and Valerie keeps looking at me for answers, and I keep raising my hands going, don't have a clue. None of this shit happened in the books. They are so far off the reservation, they can't find the reservation. They are telling their own story, loosely based on characters by Robert Jordan.
I'm over it. We watched 2 seasons now, and
almost 2 seasons. We got
whatever.
one more episode.
I honestly don't care how it turns out. Maybe I'll watch the very last episode of the last season to see. But at this point, I have one character that I care about.
Which one?
You should already know.
Nynaeve?
Of all the people, huh?
Nynaeve?
No.
No.
No, not even kind of. I don't find her in any way. No. Mm-mm.
Huh. Well, I know you hate Moraine.
I don't hate her. I just don't like her.
But
I understand her.
They're not really doing the character of Moraine justice, but they're not doing anybody justice.
I don't.
You have met all 3 of Rand's wives, even though Rand hasn't met them yet.
The only character so far that I care about is Egwene.
Egwene? Yeah.
Egwene has a fierceness and a determination. From the very beginning, I found her, like from the first episode, she had a fierceness of spirit. She was determined. She did not have a give-upness. You know what I mean? I know that it was very hard for her when she thought Rand died, and she still thinks he did, but she still
I don't know
didn't.
if she still thinks she did or not.
I don't know, but I'm just saying, but he didn't. But she didn't like fall apart or stop functioning or stop. I don't know. I just really like her. But the rest of the characters, for the most part, are either bleh, or they're me, or they're
disgusting.
Ugh. Like, it's just, there's nothing in between.
And
So
they've taken characters that were actually pretty cool in the books and turned them into really scummy people. And they've taken characters that didn't even exist in the books and
lifted them
suddenly they're important.
I would not read 14 books. If I knew that this series, I've never read it. If I knew a series...
They're very long books, too.
If I knew a series was 14 books before it ended, I would not read it.
I mean, I think the shortest book in the Wheel of Time is probably about 500 pages.
Yeah,
And that's conservative estimate. Most of them run into the 8s to 12s.
Thank you, but no thank you. I want you to tell a story. I want you to tell all the story. There are... How do I say this? Okay, so Odd Thomas. I loved Odd Thomas. And I think if he kept making stories about Odd Thomas, I would probably have kept reading them. By the way, Odd Thomas is a book by Dean Koontz.
And Koontz.
But you could read most any of the Odd Thomas stories all by them lonesomes and not be confused. Because it was not a series. It was not a, hey, we're going to leave you a cliffhanger and then we're going to give you another book and leave you another cliffhanger and give you another book and leave you another cliffhanger.
They were tied together adventures of Odd Thomas.
These were all adventures where, yes, maybe there was something from the previous book that would make the next one make more sense because you would
cohesion.
Know, maybe because you knew his history, but you could still read it as a standalone. And when you finish each book, the story is closed. What happened has resolution. So that's different. I would not read a series where you had to read that much to find out. And how I know is, I don't even remember the name of the author, but there was an author we read where we read like 10 books.
I think her name was something Wilson.
Yeah, Sarah something Wilson. Sarah K. Wilson. Sarah something Wilson. And the first book was really good. Not great editing, but the first book was really good. Like, it sucked me in. Page 3, I'm in. The first paragraph, I was interested. By page 3, I was hook, line, and sinker into the entire storyline. And I was great. You know, I read the book, first book, second book, enjoyed it. Third book, enjoyed it. Fourth book, I'm like, when will this fucking ever end? And then it just kept going.
You're always talking to me about language. Listen to
I know.
Oh,
sorry.
My.
But it was so bad.
I'm over here being innocent and good.
I will be putting up bleeps or something. Anyway. But it was... I did not find it pleasurable.
No.
I did not find it... I don't want you to... Hey, people are enjoying the story, so I'm going to milk it for all it's worth. No, just give me a new story.
She did the cardinal crimes for me. She killed somebody at the end of one book and brought them back to life through some hokery at the beginning of the next book. And that's no. If you're going to kill somebody, better make sure they're dead or don't say they're dead.
Yeah. Anyway, so just but it's not just her. It's others. But I'm just saying. I don't want to like ream her.
A leopard cub that he could fit inside of his jacket to keep it warm. Leopard cat cub in his coat to keep it warm. And when he gets knocked overboard off the ship, leopard cub climbs out of his jacket, grabs a hold of his jacket with its teeth, and swims to land. Because a cat that you can fit in your coat loves water and is a good swimmer and is a good enough swimmer to tow your ass to the beach. No. And then, you know, that same leopard cub barks and yelps like a dog.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Anyway, so I'm not going to say it's a terrible show. It's just not really what Robert Jordan wrote. It's what these guys came up with to replace what Robert Jordan wrote. And that's all well and fine, but don't go into it expecting to get Robert Jordan's A Wheel of Time, because it is so far from Robert Jordan's A Wheel of Time. We got the cast, we got the characters, we got the landscape-ish, but other than that, we have screwed every single portion of this story possible. So, this last recent episode, Perrin rescues an Aiel from a cage, which happened in the books. Only in the books it was a guy. And the guy owes him a life debt, so he stays with him throughout the whole series of books. And the guy has a crush on one woman who is in a mated pair with another woman. So in order for him to marry her, her bond sister has to agree, and then they're all married. But the bond sister hates him. So because apparently they didn't want to have to deal with that dynamic, they just put a different girl, who happens to be one of Rand's wives, who hasn't met yet, in the cage. Nothing about this book and series coincide, other than they have characters with the same names and some of the same attributes. That's it. I don't know. Did we watch any Lower Decks this week? I don't think so. We might have. I don't remember.
I can't get into that.
We watched Lower Decks because there was a crossover episode, believe it or not, with
Strange
New Worlds with Christopher Pike, and this special.
The special and the
two of the characters.
The special episode that crossed over the two characters that came in, or three characters, I think, actually. Well, in a short bit of that one had all three of them, but yes. So it was interesting, and I really enjoy Strange New Worlds, but we're in that state where we're just now, our writers are able to go back on Monday, assuming that it's ratified.
And even then, the actors aren't going back.
The actors aren't yet going back, but it'll be a while before they have content to go back to record. So we don't know when we're going to get a new Strange New World. And there's supposed to be a whole new season, the last season of Discovery, which I'm also looking forward to. But I don't. You can watch it. I just don't find it funny, and it's
it has funny moments.
It's hit and miss. It's like you have to watch. I don't know how long it is, 30, 40 minutes, whatever, however long it is. You have to watch the whole thing for like 2 or 3 minutes of that's funnier than shit, or that's kind of funny, or that's interesting, or but it's not the same.
And you do have to deal with a lot of dumb.
But I have zero emotion. I have zero connection to the characters in Lower Deck.
Well, you don't like animated, so that's one of the reasons.
But I think it's because I can't connect. I can't, like.
I've never seen you connect to an animated,
but well, no, Up. The guy in Up, I connected hardcore. But, like, in watching Wheel of Time, I feel connected, and I feel emotional around Egwene's story. I feel for her, and her struggles and what's been happening, even the things that were going well, they made me happy. Things that weren't going well made me sad. Like, I had feelings in her storyline, and even with the one that's the wolf Perrin, I really care about, enjoy his storyline and the character. But the rest of them, like, I feel bad for Matt. I really do feel bad for Matt, but I don't like the solution the book offers for Matt. I don't like it at all. And
I can see why the original actor that was playing Matt bailed. He'd probably read the books, and Matt was a really cool character in the books, and he thought, oh man, I get to play this guy? And then they gave him the role, and then they gave him the script, and he's like, huh?
Yeah, what happened?
Well, I'm playing this guy?
Anyway, it's just not my cup of tea. And then didn't we watch something else? I could have swore we watched something else. Not today, but this week. I could have swore. Maybe not. We've been doing a lot of words. And by words, that's Wordle, Quordle, Octordle. And then we just started doing...
I got a $1 a week subscription to the New York Times.
Because he reads the news a lot.
And in that $1 a week subscription, I get all the New York Times games. And some games that are not available in the actual newspaper, they're just available online. And we have been playing some of those games like Connection, where you get 16 words and you have to find the connection between 4 of those words.
You have to find the 4 sets of 4 words. And it's really tricky because a lot of times, just like for instance, it could be bell could be one of the words, but that bell could fall under 2 or 3 different categories. So you have to be you have to think it through. And I really enjoy that game. So that's been really fun.
And then there is, it's kind of a connect the letters. The letters are in a box, and you have to go at diagonals. You can't go.
You have to use all the letters.
Across or at a diagonal. You can't be on the same
wall. Same wall in consecutive order.
And whatever letter you end the last word with is what you have to start the next one.
And you want to clear all the letters in less than 5 words.
Our best is
2. We had one that was 2.
We did?
We did have one that was 2. But sometimes there's no way to do it in 2. Sometimes there's no way to do it in, it's hard to do it in 3. But it does take some time. I really have enjoyed the puzzles, like thinking with you and doing them together. I've really been enjoying that.
There's another one that's not on that. It's off from Merriam-Webster's format. It's called Blossom, and in the center of the blossom is a letter that has to be in every word. And then there are 6 petals.
I don't know. It has petals around that have different words, and then different letters, and then you have to make 16 different words. And the more letters that are in each word, the more points you get.
And if you use
all the words, it's even all the letters. It's
and we've had some really good scores, and it's all on the timing. I skipped my medicine. She told me to take my medicine. I said no, because lately my medicine's not been doing a great job on taking care of my feet, but it's been doing a stellar job of knocking me unconscious.
It doesn't knock you unconscious, but it definitely impairs you.
And it makes me so loopy I can't stay awake. I can't stay awake. I can't think. I can't function. And that's not a good time to be trying to play games that require your brain to work.
But at least we do them, and it's keeping your brain going. That's good. Okay, so on that topic, this, y'all remember, probably, maybe not. It used to have a whole lot more to it, and I ripped it back. And when I ripped it back, I did not know. So this side has fabric, and this side is ripped out because apparently I did this side after I picked up all of these loops. So I have to re-pick up, and I lost count last Saturday how many times I tried and ripped back and tried and ripped back and tried and ripped back. And this morning I thought about it, and I think it looks nice, and I'm on target to having it look exactly like the other side. So sometimes you just need a little timeout. I don't call it timeout. I call it the naughty corner, when you just chuck it in a bag and throw it in the corner. That's the naughty corner. There are some projects that have been in the naughty corner for several years and probably going to stay there unless I get brave and rip them out.
There are some projects that have been in a naughty corner so long she takes it out and doesn't even know what the project is.
Well, this is true. But the shawl that I was going to make...
it's a good time to unwind that project and start something fresh.
Yeah, except some of them I just don't want to unwind. But, so, that I'm on target. So when I have time, I'm going to finish picking that up for the sleeve portion, and then I will come back around and pick them up in a different way that holds that fabric in, so it doesn't have the gaping holes, and it doesn't have the fabric pointing, going doing, because nobody needs extra nipples all the way around their body.
I believe there is one of the Hindu gods that has that.
Well, I don't want to look like them. Just not my plan. Anyway, so lots of possible projects. Not a lot of completion happening anywhere around here. I do need to start thinking about what I want to take with me when I go to Rhinebeck. I am probably going to take the Westknits sweater. If it's not done, I will probably take it, because I will have it maybe in the next week split for sleeves, but then it will have days and days and days of knit in the round, which is the perfect knitting for airplane knitting, car knitting, going down the road, you know what I mean, driving, whatever. And so I'm thinking what I will take is going to be that. I will probably also take your sweater, in that the panels, there are things I can do early in the morning when everybody else is asleep, which is complete quiet, and I'm not having to take a big sweater, because I'm just taking a ball or two of the yarn and knitting just that little panel. Because it knits this panel, and then it knits this, and then this right here. So I can work on either this one or these two, depending on what's done before the 18th. I can knit on those relatively easily, without having to take a lot of yarn in a bag.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, books. This week's book, technically books 2, 3 maybe. The book that I'd read and finished is book 6 of the Blade and Bone series by D.K. Holmberg. Book 6 is the Blade Bearers. I think that the series may be wrapping up maybe in the next book or 2. You never know. You never know. If you want to start out, go with book 1 of the Blade and Bone series. It's interesting, but it is, he's got a whole new vein of magic that he's studying, and it may not be for everybody, because one of the main characters does her magic by carving in bone. And the bones that work the best for making her magical talismans are the bones of magical people. So, if that puts you off, do not read Blade and Bone. It will put you off a lot. If it doesn't, give it a check. It's D.K. Holmberg Blade and Bone series. Book 6 is where I'm at right now, and that is the Blade Bearers. And technically, you really need to read the Executioner's Right and get through all of that to get to the Blade and Bone, because very important people in the Blade and the Bone are from the Executioner's Right series. So if you're really serious about knowing what's going on and reading the whole thing, start with the Executioner's Right. And you'll zippity-doo-dah through all of it until you get to book 6 of the Blade Bearer. We've been listening a bit to Kevin Hearn's Plague of Giants. Mm-hmm. And Kevin Hearn does a weekly on Wednesday read-along where you're supposed to read the chapters, and on Wednesday he discusses the last 5 chapters that you were supposed to read. Valerie has been struggling with the book, just getting into it because of the storytelling style. So she has not been doing the read-along, and she has not been checking out Kevin Hearn's.
I love Kevin Hearn's style. I mean, not style. I like his writing. for the most part. I love ink and sigil. Sigil, I don't know how you say that.
Sigil.
And I really, really, really love the Iron Druid. The Plague of Giants is not a bad story yet. It's just really hard to follow what's happening and really hard to understand. And honestly, I don't think the problem is the book. I think the problem is I'm listening to it on Audible, and where I think if there were 3 or 4 different people doing the narrating, so you really could understand that this person is this person and this person is this person, it might be easier.
See,
I don't know. I'm just having a really hard time. And I love the narrator because he's the same narrator that did the entire Iron Druid series and the Ink and Sigil series. And I really enjoyed his characters and his... I enjoyed it very much. But I just think because the storyline is not going in order of history, nor is it going in order, like it's not going in order of events, it's not going in order of the same people aren't throughout the book. You're bouncing from one group of people to a totally different group of people. You're bouncing in time, and you're bouncing, and then you're having an odd, the person who's reading it, or instead of me reading it, somebody else is reading it for me, and they're putting in voices, but the voices aren't resonating, that it's a different person.
There's not enough difference in the voice because there are so many voices needed for this book.
Exactly, that I'm not understanding, oh, this is somebody entirely different. This is, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not understanding that. And I keep going, well, what happened to this person? Where is it? Where are we? Why am I don't... So, I'm thinking what I'm going to have to do. And the hard part is, do I really care enough?
To actually read?
To actually put my knitting down to pick up the book, because it's very difficult for me to read an actual book.
And it's a long book. And after that long book, you have 2 more long books. So I'm thinking this may not be your jam, baby.
It just may not be something that I read, which is okay, because not everything is for everybody. That
is also something I've long been thinking about doing, and y'all can tell me if you're interested, if any of you would like to join and do this. Find a book that we all like, that we've all read at least once, so that there's no, because you need to know what you're doing. But find a book that we all like and do a Zoom read-along where once a week we get together and we read a chapter, but each person is a specific character. So there's some weeks you're just watching the rest of us read because your character's not in that chapter. And there's some weeks that you're talking a lot because your character got mouthy and has a lot to say in this chapter.
You're funny.
But you have to have already read the chapter so that you know what's going on, because if there's supposed to be surprise in your voice when you read it, there's not going to be surprise in your voice until after you've read it and said, oh, he was surprised. Well, back it up and do that again. So you need to actually have read the book to know what you're going to do. And yes, you're kind of acting. It's like reading a script and we're all playing the part. But I think it would be fun, and we could actually record that and then send that to the author and say, this is what we did just for fun. Are you interested in paying us to do the whole book?
I don't know.
No, they're out there. There are tons of them out there.
No, I just know.
You never know.
No.
Never know. But we can do it for fun. And I think it would be, I didn't say you had to.
No, I'm saying there's way too much. If you read it, you couldn't post it online because you would be reading somebody's book who is currently, I mean, the book is copywritten, and they have an audio book which is also copywritten. So
I didn't say we were going to post it. We are doing this for ourselves. It's a Zoom, just like you and your knitting Zoom. This is a book Zoom. It's a reading Zoom for those who are literate.
You know how.
Anyway, so the other thing that I have been reading besides that in book The Plague of Giants is Thomas Paine's collected works, and
there's a lot there.
There is a lot there,
some good
and
stuff.
I'm here to tell you right now. Get it at the library, get it at Kindle, get it wherever you can get it. But what he wrote to get this country to actually declare its independence from England, because if there is truly a father of our country, it was Thomas Paine.
He wasn't writing it for the United States. The memory serves correct. We based our stuff on there, but he wasn't writing it for the U.S.
He was writing it for the U.S., but he was writing it for everybody that was a subject to England.
Yes. It wasn't specifically, hey, this
Paine's
is what
writings were the catalyst that moved the entire people.
But his writing was based on a French writer. So you need to read the French writer's writings, or at least the translations thereof.
I do not know that because that's not what I've gotten so far in my readings. But read Thomas Paine and you will find a lot of corollaries between what was going on in 1760s, 70s to what's going on in the 2020s. And you would think that those who do not learn from history are destined to repeat it. For what that's worth.
All right, now can we
what else?
Can we go to our
hail. Hail.
We had a storm this week. Oh, it woke me up from dead sleep.
See that? See that? That is a 2.5-inch hailstone. There were baseball-sized hailstones. I saw cars with the windows punched out, the sunroofs punched out. Most of the cars in our parking lot look like multicolored golf balls. They got so many dimples they should fly straight. Insurance company is going to be having a field day with that. Most of them just say that's an act of God. Apparently they think God gets in a mood and just decides to throw ice balls at people's cars. But there was a lot of damage. The screens on our windows have holes in them.
And we were very lucky because there are quite a few people here who it wasn't just their screens, their entire
just punched
window
out
was
their whole
completely
window.
Gone. And in this heat, who wants to have no window to keep the heat out?
There's a lot of roofs where the downpour of the hail was so intense that it actually did structural damage to the wood that makes up the roof.
Yeah, so a lot of people here not in the best space. We are very, very lucky in that respect.
A lot of badness happened with that hail, but that picture just gives you a rough idea. I reached around the corner and grabbed some hail.
And I feel really bad for the people in New York because that's even worse.
Oh, the people in New York are dealing with some monster flooding that they haven't had in years.
In Florida, I guess they've had rain almost every day for 19 days straight.
I think the last time Florida had this kind of flooding was when I think it was Hurricane Irina hit New York. And, almost half of the subways are flooded and non-usable. A whole bunch of the streets are flooded.
Our hearts go out to everyone in New York, very, very much so. I hope everyone is staying safe, and if you are able, staying inside.
Well, see, I feel bad for the people in New York because New York isn't like here where there's a grocery store, a big-ass grocery store somewhere that you can drive to and you're going to stock up on groceries, and everybody's got big refrigerators and big pantries. People in New York have small refrigerators, small pantries. They don't stock up on groceries.
But I don't think that the rain, I think that they had a lot of rain happen really, really fast. But I think that rain today, there's no rain happening.
There's just flooding.
I understand it, but I'm saying that they don't have a river that is still producing. It's not bringing more rain. It's just have to wait for the rain to recede. But what I'm saying is I think that by tomorrow they're going to be just dealing with the fallout of the flooding they did have.
Hopefully.
But I don't think it's the same as when, like here, when it takes forever for the water to recede, or like here where we have river, you know what I mean, still bringing more floods, or like in Wyoming when it would flood and you'd have flooding in the town, but then the river coming down from the mountains. Well, not Wyoming, but when I was in Colorado, you'd have flooding in town, but then the dam would break and then even more flooding. I don't think New York has any of that happening.
No, but New York doesn't have Walmarts and big grocery stores. They have little grocery stores.
Yes, I know.
The little grocery stores aren't getting any deliveries. People can't even get to the little grocery stores because the governor and the mayor said,
I'm just saying,
stay home.
I think that was yesterday. I haven't seen the news for today, so let's just hope that it's not. Let's hope that it's better, and we hope that it's not long term. Crossing my fingers for you.
You're going to tell them about your knitting thing, or you want me to tell them about
I'll tell mine. So, y'all know that our car died a horrible death, and I'm not in a position to make payments on a car because I don't make enough money to cover the cost of our living, our roof over our head, our electric, our gas, water, trash, internet, which I have to have in order to be employed, and our cell phones. We just don't have it to pay for a car payment right now. And so I need to do something, and I've looked into possibly getting a second job, and I found a good company that does stuff where you can choose your hours, that I can work from home. But unfortunately, that company, you have to have your own computer. It has to have the latest operating system. It has to have dual monitors. You have to have
their specific antivirus.
Their specific antivirus. You have to have their specific anti-malware.
Headphones.
And you have to have their specific headphones that they tell you that you need to have. And I can't meet those requirements.
By the time you're all said and done, you've got at least somewhere between $1,200 and $1,500 tied up in just meeting the requirements to have the job before you ever make any money.
I'm not saying that it won't happen at some point, because maybe I can make enough money in this other option to be able to get me the money so that I can get that equipment, so then I can start doing that. I don't know. All I know is that that's just not an option for me right now. But I do know that I am really good at helping people with crochet and with knitting, and I'm also I've been trying to do as much as I can free, and I'm going to continue to try to do as much as I can for free, but I'm going to try and make extra money using the knit and crochet skills that I have. And so what I've decided is that I'm going to offer 1 hour of one-on-one with me for any pattern that you need help with. You can have 1 hour for $30, or you can have a half hour for $20, or you can have 15 minutes for $15. Now, that said, if you choose to schedule 15 minutes, then all you're going to be charged is $15. That's it. But if we're meeting for that 15 minutes and at the end of the 15 minutes you go, I really need more time, I can't give it to you for $5 more because I'm scheduling these in advance. I'm taking payment and it's filling up the time I have available after work and on weekends. I will be filling in those slots. And so if for some reason that slot is available, I have another 15 minutes. It'll be another $15 for another 15 minutes. And that's only because it's fair, because the person who scheduled ahead of time for that 30 minutes, they blocked it out. And it takes me just as much time to schedule and block out 15 minutes as it does 30 minutes. So when you're blocking out 30 minutes ahead of time, it's saving me labor to only have to do that once instead of scheduling it twice. So I'm hoping people understand I'm doing this to try to help myself earn extra money, and $5 an hour is not sufficient. I can do way more than that by going across the street and hustling in the store or in a restaurant or in a, I live across the street from a shopping center, so I can go over there and try and make minimum wage or even more than minimum wage working a second job. So anyhow, that's what I'm going to do. But I also have decided that if you want to have a class, meaning there is a pattern, then there's at least 3 of you that are together that you want to make a specific project, you can schedule a class with me. It will be a 4-week class, and we will go over the pattern, whatever that pattern is. We'll do 4 weeks. So in other words, if you decide that you want those 4 weeks to be 2 weeks apart, that's fine. We'll schedule it that way. It will be $100. It'll make it cheaper because there'll be 3 of you. So however you 3 of you pay for that. But that $100 will help me do what I need to do and then meet with you all for an hour each. It is cheaper than an hour one-on-one, but I think because it's spread out and I have some time, I think that's what I want to do.
And it's not $100 a piece. It is $100 for the class. The 3 of you just need to choose how you're going to divvy up.
Who pays for it? One of you pays for it. Doesn't matter how you want to work that out, but it will require a payment of $100.
If you want to do a mom and 2 daughters, then that's fine, but it's still going to be $100.
Correct. The second thing is for all of it, whether it's 15 minutes, half hour, or an hour. If I don't own the pattern already, you will either need to gift me that pattern in Ravelry or give me the additional funds to purchase it. Now, I don't think you can see my library. I don't think it'll let you see my library in Ravelry, but I do know for a fact that if you try to gift someone a pattern they already have, Ravelry will tell you that person already has it. Are you sure you want to purchase it for them again? So, if you go to purchase the pattern for me and I already have it, no harm, no foul. You don't have to pay extra money because I already own it. But if it's something I don't have, I will not be offering pattern assistance without having a copy of the pattern, and I cannot afford to be buying the pattern and getting paid $15 when the patterns are running 8 to 12 to 15 a piece. So you will have to purchase the pattern if I don't already have it. Was that clear?
I think so.
I am looking into some software that's that will allow me to do an email service. But for right now, that's not available. If you are a pattern designer, or if you are a dyer and you need someone to help take customer service like questions, pattern questions, color questions, what can I put this, what can I use this for, I love this yarn, but what can I make with it, those kinds of questions, I am happy to provide that service for a fee. Just DM me and we can work something out. I promise it will not break you, but I do need to have some funds there. But I have to do something because what I'm doing right now is not sustainable, especially given that we don't have a car. And on that note, I'm going to turn it over to Jim to talk about something that blew us away this week.
Okay, just so everybody gets an idea of what we're dealing with, my doctor from the VA is 7 miles away. Unfortunately, that is 7 miles away. That happens to be in a different town called Cedar Park. There's no bus service in Cedar Park, so there is no way to take public transportation to my doctor. 7 miles away. I checked on Uber and I checked on Lyft, and to schedule a ride in advance for my doctor's appointment on the 6th of October for a blood draw, it will be $40 each direction, either one of those carriers. Okay, I'm going to have to bite the bullet and do that because I got to get to the doctor to get the blood draw so I can go to the doctor the next week for meeting with my doctor, which is the same $40 both directions. It does not take long to find out that's very, very expensive. $80 a day to get to a doctor's. Damn, that's a lot. We need a vehicle, but we don't have one. A beautiful, wonderful friend of ours, I call her a sister from a different mister. Her name is Rebecca. And Rebecca went out and created a GoFundMe to help us get a new vehicle. Not a brand new vehicle, just a replacement vehicle that is dependable and will not wind up being a money pit that has to have something put into it every 5 months. She set this up on GoFundMe. I think Valerie can add the GoFundMe link to the bottom of this. I don't know. What we're trying to do is raise $15,000 because $15,000 should be able to purchase a dependable piece of transportation. I was going to sell the van for scrap, but after my brother, my adopted brother Omero, came over and helped me, we put a belt tensioner on it and we got it to quit squealing, and it's good enough that I should be able to make short hops to get that to a car dealership and use it as a trade-in. It's only worth about $400 as a trade-in, but it's $400 as a trade-in. So if that doesn't work out, that doesn't work out. If you have the ability to help us with the GoFundMe, that is wonderful. There's been some super, super generous people who have already donated. Aquila and John, thank you so much. There's 17 people who have donated. They just popped to mind because and Liz and Karen and my sister
and Liz's comment. Oh,
they're just when you go, you can go check out the GoFundMe and see who's donated and those that didn't do it anonymously, and you'll just find that there are some very special, wonderful people who really love my wife. I love my wife, but she's very lovable. And she got some really good friends who are trying to help her out. So
And did you
check out the GoFundMe.
And Tammy.
Oh, we mentioned Tammy. She's our friend up in DFW. She was Valerie's friend. Now she's our friend. I love Tammy. Tammy is one of the most beautiful, kindest human beings I have ever been privileged to encounter. The things that she did for us when we were stranded in Dallas are above and beyond. I mean, I cannot say enough about what a wonderful person Tammy is. Tammy went to this GoFundMe, and Tammy is doing a D-stash on her yarn, and she's selling off a bunch of her yarn. And then she's going to take 25% of the money that she gets off from selling her yarn and donate that to the GoFundMe. Just because that's the kind of person that Tammy is, and she's a sweetheart. She's a saint. And apparently she loves my wife almost as much as I do, because she is really a super kind person. And everything that she's done for us, I cannot tell you enough. What's Tammy's thing for? She's doing it. Today's the last day, so you probably won't get to do it because it won't be seen. But she does.
She was doing a MKAL that was a rainbow. And I found the best thing. It was the I-cord, and you make rainbow, all the colors of the I-cord. You do an I-cord, and then you do another I-cord.
Plug your ears, Stuart. She's saying I-cord. You should have given him a warning. You know he's going to go into a vapor lock over that shit. Stuart don't like I-cord.
No, he doesn't. But it was really cute, and then they had little puff balls, and it was cute. I don't know. It's on the Yarn Inspirations. It's cute.
What's her channel that she does?
Cinematic Skeins. It's also her website is cinematicskeins.com.
Go check her out and support her. Subscribe to her. Tell your friends to subscribe to her.
But she's doing her D-stash, and she posted that she's going to donate 25% of the proceeds.
I said that.
I can't even wrap my brain around that. And I think I need to make a sweater.
Well, we need
to raffle off a sweater.
For what?
I don't know. Just like people can donate a certain amount, and then we draw a name from all the people that donate, and I make a sweater.
Could do that. That's your choice, lover. But I'm talking about Kathy right now, and I'm wanting to find ways that people can do something for Tammy. Do something for Tammy. Do something to support Tammy. Something to help Tammy. How did Kathy pop into my mind? That's weird.
I don't know.
I have a sister named Kathy, but she hasn't had anything to do with me in 20 years.
Our lives.
But anyway, Tammy, you are a saint among everybody in Texas. You are a bright and glowing spot in the world, and I appreciate you greatly.
She's from Virginia.
She's from Virginia, and her mother was in the Army for 34 years.
That's so cool.
That's pretty damn cute. Her mom was when somebody said your mama wears combat boots, she was like, yeah, so she does.
I used to.
Mom, you want her to put one of them boots up your ass? Go over there and tell her that. But I would have loved the opportunity to meet Tammy's mom, because Tammy's mom did an amazing job of raising an amazing human being.
I'm just lucky you went where
if you can find a way to support Cinematic Skeins, I personally would appreciate that, because she's special and not special needs. We run into a lot of special needs. I think there's something in the water that makes people stupid here in Texas, and I've not met anybody that's dehydrated.
I love you. Anyway, on that note, I do have, and I'm sorry I got a little emotional there. It's just a lot. I'm not used to asking for help from anyone, and I'm definitely not used to getting help from others.
Okay, speaking of help, I saw somebody donated that just as a flash from the past. When we lived in Casper, Wyoming, we had a good friend named Mike Stepp. His mom and dad created my favorite candy store, Donnell's Candies. They still in existence. Mike's still running the store. You can order from them. I'm pretty sure you can mail order. And I'm pretty sure Mike ships. But when I saw who was donating, I saw that there was a donation from Mike Stepp. And I'm like, wow, Mike, thank you so much. In fact, I need to send Mike a text and say thank you. I saw your donation. But for those of you that got a sweet tooth, go check out Donnell's Candies in Casper, Wyoming.
It is not sugar-free.
No, it's good candy.
I'm just saying.
It's not diarrhea-making candy. It's good candy.
It's also not...
Okay, just so you know.
Not dairy-free either.
The sugar-free candies use something called xylitol. It is a sugar-free alcohol that gives it the sweetness. But too much xylitol will give you diarrhea. So if you sit down and eat an entire package of sugar-free candy, because it's sugar-free, this won't hurt me. It will. It will.
I love you. Anyway,
Donnell's Candy does not use xylitol. Go see them.
That's all I have for knitting and watching. And
that's all I have.
Just see them next week.
See y'all next week. I might throw some stuff up. She's always throwing up stuff. There's tons of just Valerie stuff on a visit with Nana and Papa that got no Papa in it. It's here, do this. No, that's not Papa. Did you know?
Tutorials are not why you wouldn't be in them. And there will be 2 more. Oh, that's the other thing. I forgot.
and,
I have a lot.
And more news.
I have a lot of tutorials, and I will keep doing them. But I have decided that the really complicated ones, the real detailed ones, I am going to start making them content available on Ko-fi, or content like if you send payment or whatever. Like, in other words, not free content, meaning password protective, whatever, private, you have to have a link for. I'm going to see if it'll let me put it on Ko-fi, because we do have the Ko-fi page. But the first 2 that I'm going to be doing are how to read and use charts in knitting, and then how to read and use charts in crochet. And both of those, there will also be a separate video that is in the free, that is why knowing how to read charts can be a game changer in knitting and crochet. So I'll give them the, why would you even want to look at this? Why do I care? That'll be answered in a just regular video. And then the detail on how to read them, how to follow them, how to use them, that will be in detailed tutorials. That's it. I just totally forgot to say that. And those won't be the only ones. But I've just decided that I need to make an income of some sort. And hopefully, maybe, somehow, people will want this content enough to help us in some way. That's it.
Thank y'all. All you people who have donated to us. I think when the GoFundMe is closed and done, we'll probably have a special singular thank you event that we will record, and we will express our gratitude to each and every one of you.
But it's for sure, anybody that donates to either directly to the Ko-fi, or sends us a donation direct, or donates through the GoFundMe, I'm going to put everybody's name in a hat, and we will Well, it won't be an actual hat. I will put them into that wheelie, spinny wheel thing, and then whoever's name gets drawn by the website.
The wheelie, spinny wheel thing?
Yeah, it's a website where you can put in everybody's name into this thing, and you hit spin, and
It's a randomizer?
I think so. I don't know. Anyway.
The wheelie, spinny thing.
I will be using that and drawing someone, and I'm going to be upfront and honest. This does not mean that you get to tell me I want a all over cabled cardigan, or I want to, this ain't going to be one of those. I will give you a choice of 3 patterns that I'm willing to knit, and you can pick which one of those 3, and then I will give you a choice of 3 yarns I have in stash, and I will knit from those 3 because I can't afford to buy yarn. And
yeah. And we can't really afford to go out and spend $150 to buy yarn for somebody that...
Exactly. So we're just going to use what's... But trust me, we have plenty of stash. There's yarn. There's plenty of yarn for sweaters, so...
There's so much yarn for sweaters. I have 2 sweaters. How many do you have, Valerie?
So this
how many sweaters does my wife have?
22.
Plus the 2 that I have, because guess who wears my sweaters as much as I wear my sweaters?
That is not my fault that you do not wear your sweaters very often. I do not wear them often. I wear my sweaters more than I wear your sweaters.
You wear my sweaters when your sweaters don't keep you warm enough.
Yeah, because I don't have...
Because I got good sweaters.
No, I don't have a cardigan.
I do.
You have a cardigan. I do not have a cardigan.
I got a green sweater. Yeah, good. It's almost this color green. It's beautiful.
You do have a green sweater.
I do.
And pretty soon you'll have a gray sweater.
No, pretty soon is a very liberal word there.
Okay, sometime next year you will have a gray sweater.
Possibly before I die, I will have a gray sweater.
It'll be next year. It will not be that long. If it
doesn't happen before I die, fortunately I'm being cremated, so I don't have to be buried in it.
Maybe I'll take the yarn and make the sleeves. Make the sleeves to your sweater.
So I can sit and go, oh.
No, it's just that knitting the sleeves is something I can do 2 at a time while I'm in New York.
I pick on her a lot, but she is the love of my life.
Pick on me a whole lot. It's all good.
I love you.
All right, I'm gonna put away the ranunculus. By the way, if you love the ranunculus and you enjoy knitting it, more power to you. I do love wearing the one that I made for me, and I know that my sister-in-law loves the one I made for her, and I will enjoy wearing this one, but I'm just not going to make another one because this is a lot, and the love note is so much easier. And it's so much less stress.
Okay, look at this yarn. See, looking at this looks like, ooh, look, it's fuzzy. And then when you look at this, that looks like string. But when you mix that with other yarn, see this? They look like that.
Yep, you put them together and they look like that. And it's so
that
good.
That looks way better than that. Which is how ugly people can have pretty kids.
And they soft.
Because sometimes you see kids and they're just, ow, wow, what a beautiful child. And then you meet their parents and say, wow. You know, you take 50% of you and 50% of you, and that turns into 100% good. Wow.
Ooh.
What?
No, that won't work.
But, yeah.
Anyway. That's it. That's all I got.
That's it. We are a minute and 13, hour and 13 minutes. I think that is way more than anybody actually wants to see us. So
it's way more. We should have ended it a long time ago. Bye, y'all. Peace.
Hasta.